and we'll have a look at that first. Hello and welcome to Asia Rugby. The day two of World Rugby Sevens World Cup concluded. Some great news or great results for Japan and China women's team. Let's talk about that. I'm joined with Gaith, of course, the Asia Rugby's competitions, and Sol joining us from Athlete Committee of Asia Rugby and also General Manager of Lebanon Rugby. Gentlemen, very good evening. Very good evening to you all.
Good evening,
Good evening, Saber. How are you? How are you, Sol?
Yeah, good. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you, man.
Guys, some great news. First off, let's talk about the newly promoted core team, the Asian Giants, Japan women. They beat South Africa, the home team, 14 points to 12. That was one hell of a physical game, and they managed to beat Brazil 19 points to 10 in today's competition.
Well, Japan looked good today. When they had the ball in hand, they looked really good. They were attacking wide. They were putting pressure on South Africa. South Africa, the home team, they're playing with a lot of support. It was an early game, though, but they had the home nation support behind them. So to come out with a result like this, was brilliant for them. They attacked well. Their defense let them down a bit. Sometimes they weren't playing with the sweeper, so South Africa exploited them at the back a couple of times. They kicked and chased and scored, but at the end, their scramble defense was just brilliant. So that was the South Africa game. Then again, all class against Brazil, and managed to secure the game more comfortable in terms of score and the final score and results. So well done, Japan. Looking forward to tomorrow, see what they can do.
Absolutely. Tomorrow we'll talk about that. Sol, your thoughts on the Japan's performance?
Mate, it was pretty awesome watching the Asia rugby teams in the World Cup Sevens. Talking about the Japan game and just following up on what Gaith said with the Brazil game. Wakabahara scored a hat trick, which was an incredible performance. You know, she's carrying on from the Challenger Series in Chile, where she scored 9 tries. So I'm looking forward to seeing her on the pitch tomorrow, and the Japanese team and the rest of the Asian teams.
Absolutely, yes. It's going to be pretty much the rematch of Chile, what we witnessed Japan versus Poland in that final where Japan won. As a result, they were promoted as a core team next year on the HSBC World Series. So it's pretty much the rematch. And like you mentioned, Sol, yes, Wakabahara was outstanding throughout the Challenger Series. So as this, scoring a hat-trick and 9 tries in that. And also former captain Nakamura, she was brilliant in terms of marshalling this young side. And overall, in terms of going into tomorrow, what sort of challenge it's going to be, especially playing against Poland, guys?
I think they would go in probably with an advantage, having beaten them in the Challenger Series. They know what they can expect. So good luck to them. As I said, they looked very comfortable with the ball in hand. They just need to keep doing the same. Keep the ball away from Poland as much as possible, so they don't have to go into that defensive mode. Just keep the ball, spread it wide, attack those spaces, and then they should be okay. They should come out winners, hopefully.
Yes, bro. They just keep getting better game on game. So, like Ace was saying, they're improving. They're comfortable on the ball, and they're kind of, they've played them before, they've beat them before, so they'll come into the game knowing what they need to do to kind of get the same result they did back in Chile.
Absolutely. If Japan wins, they will finish 9th in the world, and if they lose, they will finish 10th. So something, of course, to cheer about in terms of Asian participation. And the other game, in terms of China playing Poland in their first game today, they lost to Poland 20 points to 14. And on the other hand, China managed to beat Madagascar, the newcomers, into the tournament, 36 points to 5. Too many yellow cards in this game, Guy. We also witnessed China conceding too many yellow cards in the Challenger Series. Most of the time they played with 5 or 6 in the team.
And I agree, they had it in the bag. China, they'll probably be disappointed more than anyone. They had it in the bag until the last probably 3 minutes. They conceded 1 try where Poland were started their comeback, and then 2 yellow cards where they played with 5 players really hurt them. I was excited for the game. I thought they had it in the bag. They would have won it, but ill discipline. They would be very, very disappointed. You would expect the result against Madagascar, looking at the way Madagascar played over yesterday and this morning, you'd expect them to come away with the win, and they did. But that Poland game will be the game that got away from them, man.
Absolutely, that could have been perhaps been Japan versus China, another match, 2 Asian regions playing. However, Sol, how many yellow cards have you considered in your life?
Well, I mean, when it comes to sevens in that game, you know, you don't want to be a player down. It's difficult to come back from that. My yellow card career, actually, I've just gotten a yellow card in the past 2 games that I've played in. The yellow card for both, and one of them was because I, you know, back talked to the ref, and that's obviously, you know, not good. My mouth got away from me. But yeah, I've learned my lesson. I try my best to kind of, you know, keep the ref on side and play clean and play fair. So yeah, not a lot, mate, not a lot. But you know, sometimes you never know. You're in the heat of the moment, and you either make a wrong decision, or you're in maybe someone's made several penalties on your team, and you're the man that gets the yellow. So yeah, I would say I'm quite a fair player when it comes to those things.
Well, fair enough. And tomorrow, China will be playing for that 13-14 playoff against the home team, South Africa. We witness how physical they are, especially with the crowd cheer and everyone behind them. Okay.
Yeah, man. I think it'll be a tough challenge for them. They definitely they look beatable. South Africa. It's not that it's a game that's one step too far. They could definitely beat South Africa. What I noticed about South Africa this morning when they played Japan, whenever there is space behind, they exploited that. They had a couple of really quick players, so kick through. And they would gather and score. So if China managed to cover the space between the players and behind, they should be okay. They didn't look really flash, ball in hand, South Africa. So put pressure on them, cover that space behind. I think they should come out winner, I hope.
Wonderful. Your thoughts on tomorrow's China-South Africa game, Saul?
Mate, it's obviously playing against you know, a sevens team that's playing on their home ground, home advantage. So you're not just playing against seven; you're playing against everyone in that stadium.
Agree.
It's a big task. If they keep their discipline and play with a full seven, and just like Aith said, just capitalize on the opportunities and the space and utilize their strength, I think they should come away with something here, because, you know, South Africa aren't that convincing yet. So you never know. Maybe they come back tomorrow and they're firing. Maybe China can utilize that and, you know, maybe get a win for Asia.
I'm sure Coach Osia Kolinisau, the gold medalist, Rio Olympic gold medalist, so will have to work on his whiteboard and come with homework done for tomorrow's game. I'm sure, and we wish all the best for China and Japan women's teams. Moving on to the men's competition, not so great in terms of Korea's competition overall, guys. They lost to Uganda 12 points nil, but they managed to beat Zimbabwe. Again, a nail biter overall performance.
Man, overall, they would be disappointed with their performance. They had a good game yesterday, which they let slip away, sort of not looking after the ball, not supporting the players, and you could see today it's something they must have spoken about. They in contact, they were driving forward, they were supporting closer to a breakdown, all of this. But again, simple mistakes, handling mistakes, the pass going to the ground. You could see all through the 2 days now, the surface must have a bit of water, so it's always slippery. So a couple of drop passes, bounce off the ground, mishandling, and then they concede. So I actually, the first couple of minutes, I thought they looked good, but again, that pressure, handling errors, just getting tired, not supporting on the ground. And we said that yesterday in sevens, if you're half a second off pace supporting the player on the ground, that's a turnover. And this is where they really struggled today.
Absolutely, yes. We witnessed that most of the players are changing their boots into studded boots as well due to the ground condition. Talking about tomorrow's game, South Korea have one more game to play against Portugal. We know that Portugal used to be one of the core teams in the World Seven Series long ago,
100%.
but they are trying to get into that status. But we witnessed some miracles in this competition, whereas Uruguay, they beat their Northern American counterpart, United States of America, which is surprising.
Massive result. Massive result. Like I said, you know, they'll be frustrated with the results so far. You know, they know they can do better. I'm sure they've prepared really well to have this opportunity to be at the World Cup. You know, coming against the Portuguese, I've watched them play a lot. You know, you're right. They were on the main circuit, and I've seen them a few times at the Dubai Sevens. You know, they're a joy to watch. But the Koreans are great. You know, just. It's like I said, sevens, man. Like, you've just got to keep up. You cannot make an error. There's no room for error. You'll be punished in every opportunity.
Yeah.
So they've just got to be on their game. They've really got to minimize the errors. The 50-50s. If the surface is not with them, they need to change their game to make sure that's to an advantage to them. Put the kicks in the right place if it's on, if there's space, and just hit that ruck and make sure they have the ball, because it's all about possession at sevens. It doesn't matter where you are on the pitch, you can score at any time. If you've got a good player, an outstanding individual performance can win you a game in a second. So yeah, good luck to them. We're all rooting for them. Asia Rugby here, and I've got a few mates over in Korea, and one of the guys from Athletes Committee is on there as well. So yeah, good luck to them.
Wonderful. Yeah, good luck for them. And the other game, Hong Kong, they beat Zimbabwe. That's a third consecutive time they beat Zimbabwe, twice in Challenger Series a few weeks ago in Chile. And they beat Zimbabwe this morning 28 points to nil, and they lost to Uganda. That's another surprise. However, Hong Kong will play against Tonga. It's pretty much another rematch where they lost to Tonga 12 points to 7 in 15s, and also in 7s in Chile a few weeks ago in the Challenger Series. They are all playing for 19th and 20th place, Guy. Your words.
Hong Kong were a different team this morning. I know it's a bit cliche, but they were attacking the space rather than the face. They were taking that space up. They had their support on the ground was excellent. They scored some really good tries, very well taken tries, good support lines. And I think what really stood out for me was their character on defense. To beat Zimbabwe 28-0, whether Zimbabwe had the ball for the last maybe 3 minutes of the second half and they couldn't score. I think that tells a lot about the character of the team. So well done to them. Hard luck in the second game, but I think the first game they were brilliant. They played the way we know Hong Kong can play, and we saw them play last year in the Asia Rugby 7 series. So good luck against Tonga. We know it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, they were impressive.
So how important is Tonga game for Hong Kong, and what can Wing bring to their team?
Mate, it's super important. You just said, they lost to Tonga in the repechage and in this Challenger Series. Hong Kong's one of the powerhouses in Asia, and they've got to prove that against a good Tongan team. We all know the Tongans can be pretty physical, but Hong Kong playing every year against the likes of Japan and Korea, and they've got it in them to actually perform. And in sevens, anything can happen if they keep that up and they keep their defense up, like Keith was saying in that game.
Yeah.
They could, I wouldn't say an upset, but they could actually get the result that they won against a strong Tongan side.
Wonderful, Guy and Sol. Thank you very much for joining. And that's the wrap of the World Cup Sevens. And we'll have a look at the Asia Rugby's Exco meeting, which was held a few days ago. And
welcome back again on the third meeting of the Executive Committee. Thank you for contributing to send the representative.